We get the chance to speak to the cast of Foundation Season 3 on Apple TV Plus. This is our chat with Jared Harris. Congratulations. I'm so excited we have a season 3 and that you guys are back. I think the best writers don't write with the present in mind, but every season of Foundation seems to speak to our current condition in incredibly prescient ways. But I was curious, as an actor, does the outside world influence your performance decisions in the inside?
Well, they can't really because, I mean, we shot this, it was almost a year and a half ago we started, finished it last summer. And you don't really know what the events in the world are going to be by the time it finally lands. So, so specifically, no, you can't think about that. But in terms of the themes that they're trying to get at, they're universal issues that the show deals with that are true at any moment in human history. So you can rely on the fact that they're going to be all the problems in the world will not be solved by the time the show comes out. You can rely on that fact.
Yes. Tell me, do you approach the real Harry differently from his echoes and manifestations?
Well, yes, that's one of the things that was exciting about this version of him, is that he's undergone a fundamental change because he's realized that there are two versions of him. There's a version of him that is corporeal and real, and that version of him has edited his consciousness and has denied him access to crucial information and crucial knowledge. And he's, if you like, the control group of this science experiment, which
Right.
doesn't appeal to his ego at all.
Does playing reading Asimov or watching Asimov, I guess what you can hope is that it has a profound impact on the reader or the viewer. And you've been playing Harry for 3 seasons, and I was wondering if getting into the mind of someone like him, this pragmatist, prophet-like character, has it changed the way you think about these big ideas that you talk about in the show? Fate, free will, legacy, all of that stuff.
I mean, yes and no, but no largely because the thoughts that I have about it and the way that I feel about it, those are the things I bring to the conversation when we're talking to the writers and the director about approaches to a scene or different ways of getting to where you want to get to in a scene, and making changes and tweaks to it. Fundamentally, there's something about the goal of the character that I believe he's doing what he's doing because he's genuine about wanting to try to find a better future for mankind. I choose not to believe that he's doing it all for himself and just for sort of burnishing his ego, that there's actually a genuine goal there.
Yeah. Would a younger Jared have been more affected? I'm curious with
More
actors in your
affected.
process, as in affected by the characters that you play.
Well, I mean, a lot of that comes down to sort of behavior and stuff like that. I mean, I remember when I played Andy Warhol, Warhol was a tremendous gossip. And I would chat on the phone with my mother, and I'd have conversations with her that I would not normally have, and be asking her about her private life and boyfriends and things like that. And it only lasted for a while I was in the sort of under the influence of that character. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there are some things that you start to do differently for a while, but you revert back to norm once you move on.
Yeah. I've got like a minute left, but very quickly, one of the funnest aspects of this season is Pilou Asbæk because he is the external threat that Foundation hasn't had in the previous 2 seasons. Could you tell me how he shook things up on set for you guys?
Do you mean the character or the actor?
I think both, because it's wild.
Yeah, the character obviously is that sort of threat or the danger that he's always been frightened of happening, and it's finally arrived, and the mule changes everything. Pilou is just delightful as a person. He has a sort of wonderful anarchic energy to him, and a sort of a very mischievous sense of humour. He's a delight. So I treasured every day that I was on set with him.
Oh, fantastic. Jared, I'm all out of time, but thank you so much. And you know what? Never stop making these. They're so good.
Not up to me.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Tell me, was this part of your plan?
Season 3 of Foundation is now streaming on Apple TV+. Let us know what you think of the show. Sound off in the comments. And thank you so much for watching.